Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're doing simple syrup and infused simple syrup. Before I start, I like to get glass bottles and I like to boil them for at least 10 minutes. That way they are sterilized. We're making rich simple syrup. What does that mean? That means we're going to make a simple syrup with a ratio of 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. You can do this by volume. You can also do this by weight if you want to be really exact with it. Now, I've got around 6 cups worth of bottles sterilized and ready to go. I was going to make 8 cups of simple syrup in total, but I totally spaced and didn't realize if I'm doing 2 to 1, that is going to be couple pounds of sugar that I didn't have. So we're going to make around 6 cups of simple syrup and infused simple syrup. Now, let's get started. This is 6 cups of water. To this 6 cups of water, I'm going to add a bunch of sugar. This is 12 cups of sugar. This looks very healthy. The whole purpose of making simple sugar is usually to try to sweeten a coffee, a tea, a liquor, and we're going to show you how to do that today. Remember, you want 2 to 1 rather than 1 to 1. A lot of old-fashioned simple syrup post-prohibition recipes will tell you 1 to 1's the way to go, and they're wrong because a 1 to 1 simple sugar is good for about a month. A 3 to 1 simple sugar is good for like 6 months. I've heard some people even say that they are shelf stable and will last as long as you want them to. I don't know whether that's true. Once you start infusing things, that does change the shelf life a little bit. Like once we make our raspberry simple syrup, that's probably only good for a month or 2, maybe on the outside. But the other reason you want to make a quote-unquote rich simple syrup with 2 to 1 ratio is because you are trying to sweeten something, right? Why would you want 1 to 1 if you can go 2 to 1? You might even want to go 3 to 1. The goal is to sweeten the thing without diluting, right? That's the whole point. Anyway, I'm going to dissolve this sugar and then I'll be back. Now, you might ask, how do we know when it's done? The easiest way is to scoop some up and see if you can see any sugar crystals. And I definitely still see sugar crystals. So I'm going to turn the heat up and I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm on medium high, and it's starting to boil. I decided to bring it to a boil because I figured that would help get it done faster. And it immediately cleared up. It still looks like I have a little particulate in there, so I'm going to let it go for a little while. Okay, it's looking very syrupy. I think the sugar is dissolved. I think I'm seeing mostly little bubbles rather than actual sugar. So we're going to go ahead and begin phase 2 of this operation. Okay, for phase 2, I'm pouring out approximately 3 cups, leaving the other 3 cups in. Okay, this is my first time doing this, and I totally just learned a thing. And that is obvious had I thought about it for more than 2 seconds. We use 6 cups of water and 12 cups of sugar. Obviously, the volume is going to increase in the final product. So we've already got 8 cups of simple syrup there. That's another 2 cups there. Jesus. That's another 2.5 cups there. So we have all of the simple syrup, all of it in the world. Ooh, and now I'm spilling it on the floor. I'm just going to say go ahead and assume that you're going to end up with about 1.5 times the volume you started with on the water. Okay, I'm starting with 3 cups simple syrup. And now I'm adding about 3 cups of mint leaves. You guys got to watch me fail math class in real time. Now I'm going to take these 3 to 4 cups mint leaves. I'm not really sure how much it was. I didn't measure all of it. I just made sure there was enough of it there. And I'm going to heat this for, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes until the minty flavor winds up in the syrup. I boiled it for a couple minutes, but then I realized I could probably just steep it like it's tea. So that's what I'm going to do. I've cut the heat, and I'm just going to let it sit like this for 15 minutes. And it's time to start bottling. Now, normally I'd use a metal strainer, or I'd let this cool down a lot, but I have a show to make, and we don't have time. So you're just going to run this mixture through a fine mesh strainer and into your bottles. I'm going to let these sit uncovered while they cool. Okay, I'm about to add 6 ounces by weight of raspberries, so I'm putting 6 ounces of sugar in here. The idea behind the extra sugar in the already loaded syrup is that raspberries have a lot of liquid in them. So if we really want to maximize shelf life, we add more sugar, we bring to a boil, and then we add our raspberries. Once it looks ready, I'm going to throw in 6 ounces of raspberries, 3 cups simple syrup to 1 package raspberries. I used 4 cups just so I'd fill the bottles. And we're just going to mix them in and let them simmer. You should find pretty quickly that you have a very beautiful raspberry syrup coming in. Before we get to that, if you notice that you've got little bits that didn't quite get caught by the strainer, you can use a cheesecloth to pick up any of the extras. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but the cheesecloth will catch pretty much anything you throw at it if you're willing to wait. You will have to use like a single sheet of cheesecloth with this. A full sheet of cheesecloth will in fact be enough to physically hold the syrup. Rather than go directly into the bottles, I'm going to strain this one through the cheesecloth directly, just because I feel like it'll save me some pain later. Notice that you don't get any loss with the raspberry syrup like we did with the mint syrup. This is because I think the mint leaves actually absorb the sugar. I'll play with that more. I have more mint in the closet. Cupboard, refrigerator, one of those. Okay, I wound up with way more simple syrup than I intended, but that's okay. I have this rich simple syrup that is shelf stable for 6 months. I have this mint syrup. I have this raspberry syrup. And I have this mint raspberry that is a Frankenstein. I'm going to leave these uncapped until they cool sufficiently. Then I'm going to cap them and fridge them. There is some debate as to whether I need to fridge them. As long as I have fridge space, I'll fridge them. If they start to crystallize, I'll just dump them out and boil it again. There's no reason we shouldn't just enjoy some. I have about 3 cups of extra sugar left in a whoopsie doodle for the ages. There will be a bonus video in a day or two, just because this video is too long already. Like, subscribe, click the little bell, and I'll see you next time.